We're in another make or break moment here.
Tonight at 6, Denver's mayor warns of new restrictions as cases of coronavirus climb.
It's crazy. In the last 8 months, we've had to change our business plan 3 different times, and now we're planning on changing it again.
How did Saturday's protest go so horribly wrong? It's a question we're posing to everyone involved.
Plus, a night out turns into a hostage situation at a Denver restaurant.
Nasty weather complicates efforts to contain the Cameron Peak fire.
And the mistake a lot of us are making when we send off our ballots.
Good evening. Awfully glad you're with us tonight. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Jessica Porter in for Ann Trujillo. We begin tonight with a stark reminder on what's at stake if we can't curb this current spike in cases of COVID-19.
576 additional cases confirmed statewide this evening. And don't take too much comfort in that number. Mondays tend to always have a lower case count. We surpassed 1,000 cases Saturday, and that was an all-time high. Another 800 reported Sunday.
370 hospital beds are in use by patients suspected or confirmed to have the virus. The strain hasn't been this great on our medical facilities since mid-July.
And then there are the ones we've lost. Since March, nearly 2,000 Coloradans now have died from this disease.
And the worst may be still to come. With flu season on the way, Denver leaders are warning that restaurants, businesses, and schools could be hit with stricter regulations if the numbers don't improve. Denver7's Sean Toll picks up the story from there.
If our numbers keep going in the direction they're going, we could be forced to go backwards to level 3.
That's not the news businesses in Denver wanted to hear Monday. Lockdown levels on the table again, meaning the possibility of more restrictions and lower capacities.
It's kind of a scary thought going into the winter.
Eric Hyatt has been prepping his new outdoor winter seating setup at Angelo's Taverna. Now, with today's news,
it's crazy. In the last 8 months, we've had to change
CU and CSU trending in opposite directions tonight. While CU has 1,100 cases overall, only 30 have been reported in the month of October. CSU has 520, 90 of which were confirmed over that same time frame.
Several heavy hitters slapped with citations by the city of Denver over the weekend. The Walmart on Evans and the Sam's Club on East 35th were both ticketed for employees not wearing masks correctly. 2 employees at the King Soopers on MLK weren't covering their faces at all. To date, Denver has issued 194 citations and 15,000 warnings.
Well, Lakewood police are looking for the man who carjacked and then ran over a woman this afternoon. The description's a little vague, really, to be of much help of the suspect, so police are asking you to keep an eye out for this vehicle. It's a 2000 Lincoln Continental. It has a Colorado honorably discharged veteran license plate. Another woman was also injured in this incident, both in their 60s and both in the hospital tonight.
New details tonight on a hostage situation at a Denver restaurant. Police documents obtained by Denver7 allege Justin McBride walked to the bar at the Pig and Sprout restaurant, pulled a rifle from his case, and as everyone was panicking around him, marched upstairs and started eating and drinking. Those who could not escape barricaded themselves in an employee locker room. McBride tried to get in, but failed. Ultimately, no one was hurt, and McBride was arrested on investigation of false imprisonment.
Many developments still to come in the aftermath of Saturday's deadly shooting at a Denver protest. For starters, we know that murder suspect Matthew Doloff was not licensed to act as a security guard or to carry a gun on the job. We do not know whether his employers were aware of this. In fact, we're not entirely sure who his employers are. Pinkerton says he was contracted out through a vendor it has a long-standing relationship with, but won't say which one. As for Doloff's legal case, it's not a question of whether he shot and killed 49-year-old Lee Keltner. It's whether he will attempt to argue he was acting in self-defense.
The interesting aspect of this case is 2 guns were found at the scene. We know the shooter had 1 gun at least. I don't know where the other gun was. If the shooter believes that the deceased was getting ready to pull a gun on him, and that is a reasonable belief that he is in imminent fear of serious bodily injury or death, then he'd be justified in using deadly force.
The city attorney's office told us this evening that Pinkerton could face criminal charges. So could 9 News, which hired Doloff as security for the demonstration. And Denver7 has also used Pinkerton, and we've learned Doloff was present at our Senate debate Friday. We specifically asked the guards not be armed. Pinkerton agreed, and no gun was visible.
No surprises in today's Supreme Court confirmation hearings. Republicans defended their push to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg before the election as constitutional. Democrats expressed alarm that Amy Coney Barrett's appointment could lead to restrictions for abortion and an end to the Affordable Care Act. As for Barrett, she spoke of her respect for Ginsburg as well as the influence her mentor Antonin Scalia had in shaping her.
His judicial philosophy was straightforward. A judge must apply the law as it is written, not as she wishes it were. Sometimes that approach meant reaching results that he did not like. But as he put it in one of his best-known opinions, that is what it means to say that we have a government of laws and not of men.
Senators will begin their questioning of Barrett tomorrow morning. The first phase is happening in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, of which neither Cory Gardner or Michael Bennet belong.
The same practices that prevent voter fraud are the very ones that could get your ballot thrown out. Denver7 political reporter Megan Lopez tonight on this signature issue.
It starts slowly at first. A trickle of early ballots that mark the start of the election.
Ballots mailed on Friday.
This election, though, with so much at stake.
The boxes that we're receiving are quite heavy.
Ballots are already piling in.
Please just let them know that how many boxes have come in each day. So this is our first run. Second one, we put a 2 in there, and 3, and so on.
Here at the Denver election headquarters,
this is the ballot verification room.
Security is tight.
What we have here are our mail ballot sorters.
A multi-step process to ensure election integrity.
We're going to read the barcode that's unique to the piece on the front of the envelope.
It starts with the signature verification.
And what the sorting equipment does is it takes an image of the signature. Our election judges, bipartisan teams of election judges, will be able to see the images that the sorter took and compare it to the most recent signature for the voter on file.
Those judges are trained by a former FBI agent who specializes in signatures.
We do a second pass after that.
If a discrepancy is found, a second group takes a closer look.
Roughly about 1% of signatures are found to be discrepant in a typical election. So it's a pretty small number of ballots that are rejected for this reason.
But of that 1%, more rejected signatures tend to come from younger voters.
And the main reason for that is, yes, their signatures are still evolving, so they may change a little bit more frequently.
And also there are fewer signatures on file to compare with. If your signature is rejected, you'll get a notification asking for verification. And this year, Denver Elections Director JOCELYN BUCARO decided to provide a live stream of the ballot processing centers 24/7 for people to watch.
The goal is to enhance the transparency into the process.
With so much scrutiny on election security these days, BUCARO says the process hasn't changed. She just wants people to know more about all the steps they take to keep your ballot safe. Megan Lopez, Denver7.
And even by Colorado standards, this year's ballot is a lot. And you can read up on the issues in depth on thedenverchannel.com. If you still have questions or comments, well, shoot us an email, 360@thedenverchannel.com, and we'll see what we can do to help.
Firefighters continue to work through dry, windy, and cold weather tonight. At the Cameron Peak Fire, strong gusts teamed up with temperatures in the 40s to make for miserable conditions on the front fire lines. Once feared lost, CSU's Mountain Campus has been spared damage thanks to the tireless efforts of 920 first responders. Meanwhile, people living in more than a dozen communities on the Colorado-Wyoming line remain out of their homes tonight because of the Mullen Fire. 175,000 acres have burned. Thanks to the weekend snow, containment has improved to 27%.
Well, Pueblo's Christopher Columbus statue is getting the tomato treatment ahead of his namesake holiday. The city had to call in some cleaners after somebody chucked fruit and paint at it on Sunday. And leaders have spent the last several months trying to decide what to do with that statue. As for Columbus Day, it's no longer celebrated as a paid holiday in Colorado.
Coming up, a Colorado man gets taken for a ride after listing his truck on an app.
You can't prove that there was damage, so now we're closing the case.
Plus, Coach Fangio says he's happy with the way the Broncos have handled COVID. He's also aware it could fall apart at any moment.
I'm under no illusion that at some point we might have a positive test or two and be the cause of a game getting moved down the road.
Still some fire weather worries out there. I'll let you know when the wind dies and we get some rain.